Okay, on number 7, we have a transformed exponential function. However, this time our a is negative. So when we're talking about growth or decay, these are considered neither growth nor decay. Our asymptote is y equals -5. Our y-intercept is when x is 0. We have -1/2 times 2. Go ahead and do 0 plus 3, which is 3. So I'll plug 0 in for the x. -1/2. 2 to the third is 8. -1/2 times 8 is -4 minus 5 gives me 0, -9. So the way I do a quick sketch is I ignore the negative first of all. If this were +1/2 and a base of 2, it would look something, it would be a growth that looks something like this. But it's being reflected, so it's going to look like that. So now let's do our domain. Again, all real numbers. This time our range is -infinity up to our asymptote of -5, but never touches. As x approaches -infinity, f of x approaches -5. As x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches -infinity. Now let's do our transformations. I'm going to number these. So first, we're going to look at the exponent, and it's 3 units to the left. Then we're going to look at the absolute value of our a. So just this part, so that's going to be number 2. It is between 0 and 1, so that is a vertical compression or shrink by a factor of 1/2. Now we're going to look at the negative part of the a. So that negative is going to be 3, and that's going to be a vertical reflection across y equals 0, or the x-axis. And then lastly, we have the -5. This means we are going to go down 5 units. Let's take a look at another one like this. Because my a is negative, this is going to be neither. My asymptote is y equals 4. My y-intercept is when x is 0. When I plug in 0 for x, I get 0 minus 3, which is -3. When I have a negative exponent, I reciprocate my factor of 1/4 to 4/1. And I have 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. Times -2 is -128. Plus 4 gives me -124. So somewhere down here. Now, if this were not a -8 and was not a reflection, it originally would just be a decay that would look something like this. But it's being reflected, therefore it really looks like this. So that's a decay being reflected vertically. My domain is all real numbers. My range is going to go from -infinity, that's the least it can be, all the way up to 4 without touching. My end behavior is as x approaches -infinity, f of x approaches -infinity. As x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches my asymptote of 4. This is why a sketch is handy when you're doing your critical features, especially range and end behavior. So Number 1 on our transformation, that's this part. So it's going to be 3 units to the right. Then I'm going to look at the absolute value of my A, which is 2. So that is a vertical stretch. It's being stretched away from or pulled from the y equals 0 by a factor of 2. Notice I don't put a negative when I'm talking about the factor of a vertical stretch. Now we say because my A is negative, it is a vertical reflection across y equals 0. And then lastly, it is going up 4 units.